evening, Canterbury. Welcome to Newsmakers Extra. The Salvation Army has just released its latest State of the Nation report. The report card tracks social progress across a range of key areas, including child poverty, unemployment, crime and social hazards. And tonight on the show we thought we'd discuss some of the key findings from the latest report and also discuss the suggested remedies. Joining us on the panel from the Salvation Army, Glenis Cross, Methodist Mission Board member Pam Sharpe and National MP Nicky Wagner. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to start with just a few overall thoughts from your good selves as to the report and some of your overriding concerns. What grabbed your interest, Glenis?
I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was, because it reflected exactly what we're seeing in our community ministry centres. An increase of people asking for help. In fact, we are up 40% from last year.
And that's in Christchurch?
That's overall New Zealand.
Right, up 40%. What kind of services are in demand? What's behind that?
Food.
Yep.
Last year we gave out 47,000 food parcels. These are for people who are absolutely struggling. Many of them are lower working class people, which is a new level of people who are coming to see us. They just cannot make ends meet when hours are cut or being made redundant or put off work. They're really struggling.
Sure. Pam, what grabbed your interest from the report?
Well, I think that the Methodist Mission, the figures are reflected the same as the Salvation Army, a huge increase in food help and a huge increase in people needing social services. But I thought there were some positives in it, actually. I thought the decrease in the gambling rates was a positive, and I think that reflects the policies on the reduction of pokie machines. And the decrease in the rates of violence in young males. I thought that was interesting, because that's not a perception that you would have, is it?
With greater stresses on households, you would probably expect it to go up, wouldn't you?
I would have thought so. So I thought, you know, that was good. But I was very alarmed at the youth unemployment and the child poverty. Those were the two big alarm bells for me.
Were there any surprises in this report for you, Nicky?
Well, it's good for us to have that report, and I really thank the Salvation Army for doing it, because the Salvation Army, just like the Methodist ministry, is involved with a lot of New Zealanders, and so they can actually report what's happening at the grassroots level. I think overall for me, child poverty was one of the issues, and young people. I mean, we need to make sure that people coming through the system have a decent chance and opportunity in life. But overall, I felt really sad that in a country like New Zealand, that really is very safe, it's clean and green, it's beautiful, should have lots of potential, that so many people were struggling.
Can we just focus for now on the surge in benefit dependent families? The report estimates over a fifth of children are now being raised on the benefit, which is a 12% increase year on year. And the report is warning that 1 in 4 children could soon be living in relative poverty. What do we mean by relative poverty, for starters, Glenis?
I think the measures that are used in this report is get the mean average wage and 60% of that, and housing cost isn't included in it, and that if you're below 60% then you're in a poverty line of the medium wage.
Do you accept we have poverty in New Zealand, and to this extent, Nicky?
Well, certainly if people are tuning up because they can't find food to feed their families, that's the poverty level. In comparison to poverty levels internationally, it's probably not as bad, but certainly it's not the sort of level that we want in our country.
Pam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on that. I think that, you know, if you're comparing it with third world countries, then we don't have poverty, but we do. We have an alarmingly increasing disparity between those who have and those who have not. And that's a worry for children, and yeah.
Do you think it is truly possible to survive on the benefit with children in this country without being part of Povertyville, if you know what I mean? I mean, another way of putting it, do you think some people are living in relative poverty through bad choices, or is it simply the benefit is not sufficient?
I would say the benefit is not sufficient. I think the report says 67% of the people on benefits are in poverty, and I would say they would be families that don't have a lot of support. There are a lot of people on benefits who have extended families who help with extra meals and transport and paying a bill that can't be paid and that sort of thing, but there are many families who don't have that support.
Right.
They've got to survive on what they have. And there are some budgeting services that won't do budgets for people on benefits because it just doesn't work.
Right. Do you accept that?
I think there's a lot of variability. I think you're pointing to that, depending where you live, what sort of skills you've got, how many children, how much your rent is, but certainly nobody's making a fortune on the benefit.
And I think also if we look at the pension, you know, the other end of the scale, there are a lot of people really struggling on the pension who have no other income and who don't have support from other family members. So that, you know, let's not forget those people who, you know, put their electric blankets on at night. And
Yeah, exactly.
to keep warm.
Have you seen at the coalface more and more retired people, particularly those living on their own, coming to the Methodist Mission, the Salvation Army, for assistance?
Well, I can't really report on that. I'm a board member there,
Sure.
so I don't see those people, you know, at the coalface, but I guess you would.
According to our statistics, people over 65, they're the lowest group that come to us in our community ministries for help.
Right, okay. Now, there has been a suggestion that the benefit abatement rules be loosened to enable parents to supplement their benefit with a greater amount of part-time work. You're in favour of that, Glenis?
At the moment, if you're on the benefit, you're only allowed to earn $80,
Yeah.
and that's not very much, and it would help if that was increased. Also, we've noticed that a lot of people on the benefit who had part-time work have lost it and have had to fall back on the benefit solely.
Sure.
Yes.
Is there a danger that if the abatement rules are loosened too much, it actually encourages a culture of entrapment on the benefit, that there is no huge incentive to get off the benefit?
I think that's always the biggest worry, because obviously people in work have better options, they have better choices. I think it's better for their families and for their children, and we can see that in the statistics. But if it's only marginally better to do a bit of work than what your benefit is, it's quite hard to motivate people. People need to see a bigger picture so that they know that, yes, okay, I'm working harder now and it's not much financially right now, but it puts me on a ladder out of here. But that's a difficult thing for people to manage.
All right. Do you want to comment on that, Pam?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing too, especially with unemployment as it is.
Yeah.
And I think beneficiaries often work in jobs where they will do part-time work, and those jobs are not always, it's not always stable work, so, you know, it makes it harder for them.
We'll take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have a look at some other issues that emanate from the report with our panel. Do stay with us.